Welcome to CathyDSlaught's Quantum Energy Zoom call. To access the Zoom call, you just come on over here to her website, CathyDSlaght.com, scroll down the page, and look for this Zoom banner. Now, these calls are on Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. If any time changes, you'll be notified on the website. But to access the Zoom call, which is free, by the way, you're going to click here and it'll take you right into the call. Now, it will be a live call, so you may want to lower the volume on your speakers because it may be loud. One moment, please.
Let me show you where we are. I want to point out we're still running. This is a statement that we had a very high priority for that I went ahead and included as a primary situation. This is something that's loaded up in the shift pen. So I want to mention that shift pen again. It's been very powerful in conjunction with our SRC work. If anybody has any questions, give me a holler. I'll be glad to tell you what I've seen with it. And you do get, if you get involved with the shift pen, you get 2 weeks that you get full money back if you don't have a shift. But that's the idea. Anyway, this, we didn't want this. We didn't have a priority for it being in our overall scan. But this is what we wanted that particular day, and it's in there. And we have been running for some time with that. So I'm surprised at that. Here we're still going. So I went in also, just if anybody wants that statement, just let me know. But regardless, we also, let me get up here. All right, this is what we're doing today, and this is going to be a whole lot longer than we can cover on the Zoom. But first of all, as you know, I'm always doing the damp scan now because this damp is a lingering, it is something that doesn't go away just with a little bit of work. Let me see if I'm good. Okay.
Cathy, is that supposed to be gastrotransmitters?
I don't know where you look.
Oh, no, it says it now. I must have looked at it wrong.
Oh, okay. So what I've been doing with this, if I can easily find our, I don't know if I can easily find our, yeah, there we are, yay. I pretty much have this going quite a bit, but what I've been doing with these different things is running it through the sustenance balancer. And it's amazing how just a little bit of that clears it up. But this is something also, it looks like this may lead us to some weight loss programs with the SRC because a lot of the damp is being influenced, or the top influences seem to be diet, and then secondly, living in a house with a little mold, or a car. Your car can have mold, and those so far. But this adds to a lot of stress. My layman's term, Kevin, or maybe some of you others can give a better explanation. But with damp, what happens is you're accumulating fluid, and these fluids really harbor pathogens. So that's kind of the basic layperson's concept. You know, the concepts of damp and dry, and all these things. The Chinese had some great wisdom, and it's taken the other ends of the earth a little time to maybe get a good feel about it. Well, let's just see what happens here, how long we want to go and how many times we want to repeat. So we'll come back to that. But then up here, for the rest of the scan, we want the manifestation is soon image. That's not a bad thought, as long as it's positive manifestation. Move this down. And then the flower essences, and we show you where we can go with that. Let's just highlight right here, damp heat in small intestine. Now we know as a group, this is all etheric. This is not in the physical body. And, but the etheric field is the blueprint. So if we were to go, let's just see what happens with this. Let's go in to the dispenser, because the flower essences can give you a lot of information on the emotions this kind of stress can lead to. Just off the top of my head, we'll see what comes up, but the apathy, lack of motivation, so many things. Let's just make a cocktail. Okay, so we're looking for empowerment. It says mainly for women. To restore willpower, that's interesting. Indecisiveness, procrastination, stuck, self-doubt, lack of personal...
And if you'll note, between the carrots, those are the shadow side.
Ah, thank you, thank you. And then you're positive here. Okay, so we're taking 15 minutes with 27 repeats. This is all, as we know, I've said it hundreds of times, subtle energy. So it's going to the etheric field. It's not physical work. But we can proceed with this information. And remember, this is also, it'll go back and forth in the sustenance balancer. And whatever doesn't clear, that gives us a little bit more information. So you see now also this month, again, we want this AAA scan. And that is a list of every list we have for this software. And so when I did that scan, very top, viruses. So now again, to stress, not the kind of thing you go to the doctor and get a diagnosis of. This is in the energy. But look at how we're all surrounded with all this energetic information, whether it be negative or positive. And look at the list of viruses that all came in at a 0. And then interestingly enough, I went in to see what Pro Tools, and we wanted the pathogen panel. And so I thought, well, what the heck? I mean, we're going to do more than that. But what the heck? Let's look at this. So I started. Now here is the first one. And what I've been doing, okay, that one we only want, I've been double checking at the end. So to make sure we don't want more. Try to get my stuff. Can't quite. With what's on my end here, can't quite get. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm at the computer anyway, so I'm just going to go down the list as far as I can get to see what comes up. Because we are surrounded by all kinds of information. And this is a group of people. Again, just 4 minutes. Let's see if I have a Pro Tool open. I do not. Close something. I want to do that. So now double check. Now we're taking 5 minutes. This is still stress related to damp. We'll start, typically when we ask for aura, we're going to do the people, we're going to do the pets, and then we're going to do the homes and vehicles, etc. Let's see where we are right now with, come back to it after it scans. And then you can see, and a lot of this, I've already gone through and looked at, but it doesn't hurt sometimes to take a little double check. Let's see, for example. And let me just show you quickly so I don't get off track. This is the entire scan that we're going to use this month. I'm glad I'm reminding myself. Back in October, we wanted 90 days in the mastery for this particular code. The etheric, emotional, mental, astral, etheric template, celestial, and causal bodies are now in optimal balance and communication with surrounding informational fields. We now are taking another 90 days. So I want you to see that. You may want to add it to your own mastery. Then we're going to do the damp scan each day. We have priority for the AAA. Now, all parasites, that includes etheric parasites. This demonic manipulation, which I know sounds weird, but we had a high priority, so it's in there. Creative manifestation, the Tao image, deep healing. We wanted this Delaware scan as well. So these are, seems to be a very powerful scan. We want it a lot. This element scan for She Motion is turning out to be interesting. We haven't requested it yet as a group, but it was a high priority to have it. But let me tell you what happened last night with it. I have the lady that I've worked with a long time now. She has tinnitus, and she's doing a lot of energetic things for that, including weekly SRC. And so last night, she scanned that she wanted this element scan, and what we're doing with this element scan is then once we see what's off, we are getting an issue which we put in the She Motion. Well, for her, and this is kind of funny, it was her fire element, and when I did a deeper scan of the characteristics of the fire element, she wants results. Can you blame her? She's been doing all this time, and she still has tinnitus. Now, she has a few better days now than she used to. But so that's what happened is I did her the She Motion and had to email her the rest of her messages this morning. And they were very interesting because the block was her words. And the She Motion told her she keeps complaining about what's going on, and that could be part of what's blocking the results. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much so.
It's very interesting. What you can do with this She Motion, if you've got a client, you can tell them the first few messages, but obviously, unless you're going to work with them 6 or 7 hours, which I doubt you're going to, you're going to have to email them the rest of their messages. And I'm very anxious to talk to her to hear what she says about that. So anyway, going forward, that's a fun one.
In fact, Cathy, I'm glad you bring that up because I have a cousin who's had that same problem, and I've worked with him early, probably a couple years ago, and of course I couldn't do anything with him, and then I worked with him one more time. But now that you mentioned that with the She Motion, would something like that work for him?
It wouldn't hurt.
For my cousin.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. I've had some people that we get amazing breakthroughs. I have others, it's just nonsense. It's just different with each person. And when I say nonsense, I mean nonsense to them. It's just how they take it. But I love putting an issue in the She Motion and getting the issue, going over the element scan. Wouldn't that be something? We don't always get results immediately with subtle energy. It takes us perhaps years to develop an issue. And I always have wondered, people may go to a doctor for 20 years and never get better, but they'll never complain about that. But they might have 1 or 2 energy sessions and say it didn't help. So it's quite thought-provoking to get your own messages. And just depending. Everybody's different, but I'm looking forward to it coming up for the group, but it hasn't yet. Anyway, here's the eliminate pathological factors that create illness.
I have a question. I might be having a brain fart or something, but how do you do an element scan for chi motion? I don't get that.
Here is what I'm looking forward to demonstrating it. I don't have it pulled up right now. How about next Thursday? I'll demonstrate it. We're having Kevin on Monday.
Sure, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, because it's kind of fun. Now, we want to harmonize yin and yang, which of course makes perfect sense. Now, I do a little I Ching from time to time, and I Ching could perhaps be a manual version of this work we do now. It's been around for thousands of years. I've done it for many years, and we actually had as a priority Gua 34, which is great power. So I thought, what the heck, I'll add it. We didn't scan for it today, but we have some days we do scan. The I Ching is not psychic work. It's for those of you who may have a little bit of resistance. It is a true scan of the energy field, but it's just done by hand. You can use sticks or coins or whatever. Anyway, manifestation is soon, which we wanted today. Mastery scan. Now this multivite also, you might want to pull that up and study that a little bit. We've asked for that to be in our overall scan. The sustenance balancer scan, which that means I've got to get in there and update it, which thank goodness we didn't want it today. The vaccination scan, and then this victimhood, which, as we said the other day, the more you learn about how we create our reality, that head of that chapter in Denise Lynn's book on energy strands, there may be no victims, but just volunteers. Who knows? Maybe we come down to say, like to see what this is like or that is like. Hard to say. Things we don't know. Let's look in here. Oops. Sorry, that's my grandbaby. There we go. So we've taken 5 minutes. Now we're taking 9. So as soon as this finishes to where it doesn't go up, we can scan that list again related to damp. And very often, everything's clear. Not always, but very often. Anyway, you can double check. This has already been done once, but let's just check. Do we want a large intestine meridian scan? No. That's something we really need to examine in more detail. I'm no nutritionist, but what do they say? 99% of us are deficient in enzymes, and that's our workers. Let's just put stress related to enzyme deficiency. Look at that. So you might want to examine your own habits, perhaps get some supplements, etc., etc. Anyway, you get an idea here of what we're working on. I do like the P4 is typically all you need, and I do like to check the meridians, and the idea is we can use the information. It can give us a real eye-opening. It's just like the lady from last night with the she motion. Maybe now she'll stop complaining so much. Does that make sense? They talk about manifestation. Apparently, the top energy or emotion for manifestation is bliss, but the second, I'm told, is actually gratitude. So if we're in a negative state and complaining, no telling what gets blocked. And we're still kind of holding our own here. No. Check the aura scanner. Let's get it up to 100 if we can before we go to the other issues. Now we only wanted 4 minutes, and well, let's see, was that enough? Oh, well, no, we're going to take some hours. So I'll have a little fun between now and Monday with this pathogen panel repeat. And again, all subtle. But when you see something like that, you might want to get in and do a little bit more research on virus and learn a few more things and set some intentions and so on and so forth. Anyway, and you get the idea. We'll double check, but this has all been done before in this session. Delicious Life Force, pericardium. Well, that's your key right there, obviously, is your voltage, your life force. I see, we're looking good. We're holding our own. Just for the heck of it. Let's see a few things that we don't have in the startup that sometimes you can check. Let's see, do we want the remarkable healing scan? Yeah, we'll take it. And this is not by any means finished. This is just a start. Where did we go? Okay, so we've got, this is interesting, the thinking soul, in reference to what Neville Goddard talked about with the soul being able to choose. Simple as that we create what we choose, achieve goals in this lifetime, and this is just a basic extermination. Heal, shield, protect, illuminate, guide, enlighten, balance, transform, and bless me. Doesn't sound like a bad thing. We want the 5D scan. No, don't need it. How about the America scan? It seems to get me in trouble. But if we resonate, we do. No, not quite. A little more time here. So we're getting close to the end. This will have more work later. Any thoughts? Any questions?
Where do you find all the scans?
I read books.
Oh, so and what does the scan refer to when you put scan?
What I have done with the scans is when I'm reading something or listening to something and I hear a statement that I think, wow, I'd like that in my etheric field. I get a code ordinarily, and then if you go right up here to the find options, let me just give a quick example. Let's just get something here. Here's our general options. All right. So if you go up here to the find options and click that, this is how I do it. This is the beauty of all of us coming together. We'll all have our own ways. You can simply put it in here, and what Grandmaster says, anything that comes up under 1,000 could be a point of stress. It's not the higher numbers, it's the lower. So let's just search. There we go. So a motion scan and a stress factor scan. I've just gotten that information. That's built in. So I can simply go here. But that's how I end up with so many cocktails and so many scans is from reading material.
Last night on the Zoom call, there was a question with regards to that also, and he referenced Kevin as the source to get all this information. So maybe we could do a Zoom call on how you create your cocktails, because I know with the Power of Thoughts group that we use, Lynn McTaggart's The Power of Eight book. It's like we create our intention statement, which would be technically our cocktail, so to speak, but for prayer. So maybe,
well, the exciting thing is that you can really do those things with this software, which I have never. There's some great quantum software out there. I've never seen anything quite like what we have at this point. And so I probably do too many. I have one guy that calls me Cocktail Cathy, and I'm like, can it be a Cosmo? But the idea is we can do it if we're led to do it. Okay, so we're done with this scan. Let's just see what happened to the damp. But yeah, Kevin, I try to get with Kevin with everything I do, so he's got it because he knows how to come in on TeamViewer and load it for you. However, also, when the notes go out, you can easily make a cocktail from the list yourself or save a scan. A lot of times they're just a scan. You're getting information, and I don't know if this is going to make a lot of sense, but what I believe, the machine is not doing the healing. It's sending some frequency to balance a few things out, but you're working with your innate ability. It's already hardwired in to heal yourself and just clearing a few blocks in that process. That's how I feel. And so when people say, oh, will you please run me? They really need to know what comes up.
So, Cathy, how did you just now eliminate the right column when you copied and pasted?
Oh, Lord, who knows? I just kept doing it till it was eliminated. Let me look again. Right now, let's check and see. Okay, so see, we're down to 3. Now look at that. Dissolve biofilm, candida, and balance imbalances in the blood energy and body fluids. So what you can do, go ahead and add that and delete. And Deborah, I'll have to give that some conscious thought. I don't know exactly, but now go ahead and put that back in. And let's just see what we've got here. Let's first of all, if it's going to let me, all right.
Oh, Cathy.
Yeah.
Grandmaster David came up the other night and said that we really shouldn't be telling the person that we're working on all the stuff that's in there because that might kind of shake them up a little bit. So,
well, it depends on who you're working with, and obviously, yeah, you're going to use some discernment. For example, if you see abnormal cells or any of these things like that, you're probably not going to tell them.
Right.
But yeah, you have to use your discernment. You may not want to say, oh my gosh, you got a demon, any of that stuff. But with time, as they continue to come in, which they will do when they see results, as they continue to come in and they understand what this is, that it's energetic, it's not physical, you may be okay. But yeah, you definitely don't want to scare the people to death and that's what I tell people. I don't want to tell them because they could then manifest it. This is a theory. This
exactly.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. But at the same time, they're the healer, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on that. But they need to know the stressors. For example, this candida stuff, let's look now. That stress is still there. You see the 99, a 98 or a 99 could indicate more of a chronic. So let's just see, for example, do we want to do a B2? Nope. But again, this is how I do it. You're going to have your own ways. That's close, but not quite.
Well, I pretty much count on my intuition. It's very strong.
Yeah.
And not only that, but a lot of times I'll take my pendulum and work with my pendulum too.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the pendulum's great for this as well. But the intuition, that's really what we're all working at, is realizing,
Absolutely.
yes, it's not to turn to a tool, although the tools are here to help us. Just like, thank goodness for email. We'd be writing all those long letters. We wouldn't have much time, would we? But we want to use the tool, but we don't want it to get in the way of our intuition. And just real quick, finish up. We're after 11, so I don't want to keep you. But there we go. So we can just actually put that in 3 times. And I'll do the same with these others. But does that give you some thoughts?
Yes.
Lots to think about.
Yeah. So that's the work we're doing over the weekend. And this pathogen thing will be interesting as it goes through. And you see, it's not tough. It's not difficult to do. And it's just clearing frequency, not physical. And is it perhaps a negative thing to tell people, hey, let's keep your immune up? Probably not. Because we do have some threats out there. Know anything else?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Just put on that armor of God, guys.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Let's look at that real quickly. Thank you. Let's look real quickly. Let me put field generator today. Armor of God. There we go. Not quite, but there's plenty of good cocktails in the field generator that you could test for that. But here we go. Let's just see if we want to add any additional themes, and then we're ready to go.
I got a question. You had Candida and 3X Candida. What's the difference?
Oh, no. This goes in with the 369 that Tesla taught, that sometimes if you repeat it 3 times, there's special power.
Okay, thank you.
And, yeah, so the number's 369, and then I'm told that Tesla also talked about 12. So I will test those to see, and a lot of times, so in other words, we're just getting this code 3 times. And you can see we do want to go ahead and add additional themes. And again, this is, you don't have to get all this detailed, because the P4 in itself is going to figure it out also. But it's your choice. This is my choice.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Cathy.
Kathy.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate all of
Have a
your
good
great
weekend.
work.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Have a
you
great
very
weekend,
much,
guys.
Cathy.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice
Thanks.
weekend.
This concludes Cathy's Quantum Energy Zoom group for February 2nd, 2023. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again on Mondays or Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Till then, take care and be well.